Shawna Karrasch here with another Ask Shawna answer. Okay, this one is from Jeanne, and it says, "Hi Shawna, I received my deluxe order and started clicker training my horse. Yay! He is very food motivated and impulsive and kind of like my son. I am practicing liberty leading with your horse or your son." Just kidding. "I'm practicing liberty leading and can take 1 to 2 steps before I lose him. He looks at horses in their stalls, empty stalls. I can tell he is strategizing on how he can dive towards the alfalfa. When I use a handheld target, I'm able to keep his focus a few seconds longer. When I introduced him to the clicker, I would click when he gave me the behavior I was looking for and reinforced him with his head away from me. So now when I click for the behavior, he automatically turns his head away from me. But then he gets distracted and starts smelling the walls, doors, etc. I am missing a piece of the clicker training puzzle. Thank you." And you know what? I think what is really good about this is it kind of makes a point that they're all individuals. So as much as we think, yeah, I got this, this is how it goes, they're just all individuals, and we have to adapt and modify for the horse that we have in front of us. So I'm glad that you asked the question. I'm glad that you're getting started, and I think all along you're going to have a horse that does things just a little differently. So they just think different. They do things. Henley's different, So I think that it's important that we recognize that. So right off the bat, we have a way to kind of adapt to that. So what I would look for is if I'm having a horse, typically this is what helps me, is if I have a horse who keeps wandering, I might work him further from distractions if I can. Let's say you're in the arena, instead of being closer to the alfalfa or the stalls, maybe work him further away where there's less to get excited about or get distracted by. And that's just setting him up for success, or you're paying attention to your antecedent arrangements, which is just a big word saying, just help set him up for success. So it's too hard right now to be by something else and he gets distracted. The other thing I do is if you think I've got him for 15 seconds and then it's 17 seconds I lose him, have your session go to 14 seconds. And when he's good, be ready, give him a big giant jackpot. And also, so I'd give him a big giant jackpot. I'd have a bucket nearby. So maybe I click and then I run, feed him, and then run to the thing and give him some food in there and then step away. So what you're doing, so if you're in, the arena, you stepping away, you're also giving him a chance to smell and do the things he wants to do. Because he's telling you, I find it more reinforcing to go smell stuff and find the alfalfa and visit the stalls, empty, or horses, or whatever it is. I find that more reinforcing than doing what we're doing. So I take that and I say, I get it. That is very strong reinforcer for you. So what I'll do is I'll make sure you have that. But first, I need you to pay attention to me for a minute. I don't even care if it's 5 seconds. Just say, hey, can you target? Can you target? Okay, can you take step? That's great. Here's a pile, and let's go. And have it be where you are making it really reinforcing, and you're leaving him in there to be able to explore his environment and see things. I'll tell you, my little horse George, I started working with him at John and Beezy Madden's place. He was their horse then, and he was only 6 months old, and he was bred there. But then eventually he was, I bought him and took him on the road, and he was very curious, and he's very bold, and just wanted to see everything. Well, what we're doing is going to do Expos. I'm taking him to new, strange environments and expecting him to come out and work right away. And so I realized I had this challenge. So right off the bat, and I could see it, from the first expo, I thought, look at him go. He just really wants to see all this stuff. So what I would do is I would take him, and I can't have new stuff all the time at home. I can create a certain amount of new stuff at home, but you can't make it what as different and intriguing as it is there. So what I did, I would take him first at home. I'd take him out with a lawn chair, or something in the environment. He'd be like, I want to see that. And I'd say, give me a second. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I make sure it's something safe. So, can you give me this? Can you give me a foot? Okay, great. Here's your jackpot. That's great. I'm going to leave and you get to go explore it. So he realized I can work and get my food, and then I also can go explore and see whatever the thing is. So doing that, and then eventually I would go to an expo, and I think, I know, it's a lot of brand new stuff and banners and, and I'd take them in, and I would just say, can you do this? Can you do this? That's great. Here's your reinforcers. I'd step away and keep talking to the people, and nobody quite knew what I was doing, but I was allowing him time to explore his environment and getting a chance to see that and getting him out of his system. The other thing that you may consider, sometimes they can do stuff like that for avoidance. So I don't know his history or what he's been through, but some horses, it's really hard if they don't know the answer. It can be quite, uncertainty can make them feel like they might get a correction, or, you know, they don't like it. They like knowing the answer or being told exactly what to do. So if that is the case, give him, I mean, in either case, I would do the same thing where you're just giving him a little tiny exercise and saying, hey, can you just lift your leg? Of course you know how to do this. And you could do it, and that's great. You gave me a little focus. Here's your pile. I'll walk away, and you can see your stuff. So sometimes it can be more of an aversive or an avoidance behavior where they're rather do something else than not know what the answer is, or they haven't found that. And that also just tells me that they haven't built a strong enough reinforcement history with the problem solving. So building on that problem solving skills in the tiniest ways. Minty was a huge quitter. He quit. He walked away from everything. He walked away from target training. I mean, and I just said this in another question. There was a horse next door who I wasn't training, and he'd reach over the fence like, I'll touch the target. I get it. You know, and he hadn't had any of it. So I think that, but what I had to do was look for the slightest little try. His attitude was more important than the behavior. And that kind of goes for all of those scenarios. It goes for all of the horses, period. But trying to help him develop a better history of focusing and even just making eye contact with you. Another thing you can do when you are in a place where you can get his focus, even like if it's a stall or paddock he lives in or whatever it might be where he's kind of can focus better, look for those times. Like if I have a horse who is busy and we're walking around, he's busy going, oh, what is all that stuff? What is all that stuff? That moment, and I'm going to do it from the side. And so he's looking around. You can see him just looking. He's not really paying attention. That moment, I feel like that eye kind of comes back to me. I click that because that's him showing me that he's focusing on me and not all the other stuff. So that's another technique that you may employ a little bit, but it sounds like you can't even get to that point because he's busy leaving before you can get there. So in either of those cases, whether it's avoidance or it is truly finding it, you know, he wants to go see stuff, in either case, he's finding it more reinforcing to go see and explore than he is to stay and try to problem solve or focus or stay for the reinforcement. So there you go. So trying to give him that option will be helpful. Having the sessions really, really short will be really helpful. And then when he is giving you a little bit more, look for that eye contact and the slightest little try when he does do things. Okay, so I hope that helps you out. And if you have more questions, because this is a tricky one, and I think, you know, you may kind of, this may continue to unfold a little bit more, and it's okay. It's good. It's giving you information. He's telling you, I'm not quite as engaged as maybe you want me to be. And all that makes me think is, okay, so that just gives me information. Now I know that you're not. So now I have a new challenge. It gives me a way to change my plan and think, what can I do to help get you back to being focused or even just getting you engaged in the first place? All right, so I hope that helped you out, Jean. And thank you for your question. It's a really good one. And I think it's probably one that is a lot of people probably struggle with a bit. All righty, so that's it for now. Until next time. And if you have more questions, you know where to go. Just go to my website and you look for the Ask Shawna tab. And you will find a form to fill out, which you know because you just did it, but other people might not. All right, until next time, bye-bye.